Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you still back here with us.
Did you give me the hosting? No, I didn't. Did you give me the hosting?
Probably not. Sorry again. Technical stuff. Next slide just says obviously the SEP announcement, so I can just do that. As you see, there is an updated agenda on the thing. I think it's been updated yesterday, and we're going to make it as short and painless as possible. But before I give you more info on this, I would like to give you info on the fact that we have a birthday boy just there. I would like you all to sing for him. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's the same. No, not yet. Oh, why? Is that the other? Did you put the other one?
I put Sunday.
Yeah, but there was the update. One had Corona update.
Oh, wait. No, wait. I will take it.
No,
I just clicked on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's not Sunday anymore. It's now everything is different now.
Oh, Sunday.
It's another live basically. So yeah, if you see the agenda, there's this updated Sunday thingy. As you have not accepted that yet, basically, I cannot just impose it on you. But it will basically be that we have the SOS changes as announced yesterday that we made according to your feedbacks. We would then have the board updates on stage instead of the mingling around in everywhere. And then we have the votings and some good flying words. So why these things are still in the agenda is basically because the board should give an update every time that the NA meets. So that's kind of 1 month for a thing, and obviously what would be the point of you coming if we don't do the voting? Obviously we can still have fun, but I mean, as a statutory body, the voting is kind of like the top thing. Now I have to ask you if you oppose these changes. Does anyone oppose the agenda changes? So, about all the other things, the workshops as an example, I guess most of them, I didn't hear now yet anyone to say that they will not, but I also didn't talk to everyone yet. But most of them will be held online at some point. The point still has to figure out. It's not going to be tonight. It's going to be some other day, and hopefully one many are available. And maybe it's even possible then to go to several workshops that you couldn't do right now at the same time. What else do we have? Yeah, that's my idea. I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions about all these changes because it's a lot. And maybe you have questions, and I would open speak this to you if you have any questions. Very well. Seems like you're well informed already, and you know what's going on. Yeah, with that being said, I will give forward the I don't know, this sanitizing.
Yes, good morning also from my side. So first of all, I heard that some people went out yesterday, and I am personally a little bit disappointed about this whole thing, because then the grouping up and Anna staying outside yesterday evening kind of doesn't make sense anymore. So I just want to say that from our side that we hope you didn't get in contact with any local people, so in the case that Tanya would get tested positively, that we don't spread it to other people. Also, I want to ask you to be really careful when you now go home later. Maybe if it's possible, try to sit alone, don't sit next to other people, and maybe also don't load the Swiss COVID app, so that we can be sure that, yeah, if we have it, that we can inform other people as well. That said about yesterday, so for today, yes, we changed kind of the whole thing. As I already mentioned yesterday, there was food brought for today already, so we will set all that up outside later in the court and take as much as you can, because there's really, really a lot. The rest of it we will bring, there is actually a project we call it Madame Frigo here in Luzern. There are two public fridges where you can kind of go and grab things, or you also as a private person you can leave vegetables and stuff like that there. And we will, everything that is not kind of used or taken by you, we will try to bring there. Hopefully it all fits in, so take as many as you can. There will be also the leftovers from yesterday evening, they will bring it later here, so you can also get that one, and there are a lot of sandwiches left. So yes, that's about that. So we will set it up outside, and then, yeah, it's mainly kind of the end, and everyone afterwards can leave and go home. I still want to thank the people that actually helped us organizing this thing or gave us money to do so. So it's mainly the PH Luzern who offered this space and all the workshop rooms, so we're in their building. And we got all of the sandwiches, everything from Esper. Uniboard was there yesterday to do the lunch. Today we should have had the lunch with Education for Integration, which is a really great project for refugees. Unfortunately this can't happen, but also their food will go to the public fridges because they already brought it. And then the Hochschule Luzern and the alumni organization of the Uni, they both gave us money so that this is actually happening, and you don't have to pay such a high fee, even though. So yes, Ben, please give a big thank you to this. And I think that's it for me.
So, I'm gonna change the mood now. I don't want this funeral mood in here. I don't think we don't have to do this. We have gone through the serious part now, and we go back to our program. And according to that, I'd like to see your smiles. I know, sorry.
I suppose smile like
we had some people left, we had some delegated votes. We had Chur giving their vote to Luzern. We had St. Gallen giving their vote to Basel, to Anna, and we have Fribourg giving their vote to Alex. So those were delegated. Because that leads us now to the quorum check. Again, as yesterday, we had to do a quorum check to see that the people are here. I asked the scrutinizer to not come on the stage, but kind of stay on the side. You can also do it from your space. Just count the votes, please. Lisa, you're the other scrutinizer, right? You're ready to count the votes. And then you can shout the numbers from wherever you are. Just stay there. Yeah? I already said that.
Okay, sorry, I didn't hear you outside.
No worries, it's all good. You just, for people that have a delegated vote, you just vote as if you were that section as well. So you're allowed to have the 2 votes. Good. I have a quorum check like yesterday. Basically, the question is what is Ghana against? Maybe Corona. Maybe it's closing the speakers list. Maybe it's SOS changes. Or maybe it's being used for very good. I have a third one in the bunch. I'm not going to use it because it's not needed anymore. But yeah. Anyways, so who is going to vote for A, Corona? Ghana is against Corona. 1, Geneva. 1 vote. Who is against closing the speakers list? B. We have EPFL and FHNW. Who is against SOS changes? Who thinks Dana is against SOS changes? Wonderful. Who thinks Dana is against being used for every quorum check? Okay. We have ESN Luzern, ESN Chur, ESN Lugano, ESN St. Gallen, ESN Basel, ESN Winterthur, ESN Zurich, ESN Bern, ESN Wien, ESN Neuchâtel, and ESN Fribourg. Sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses. We have all 14. We also counted 14. Wonderful, thank you very much. Huh? I 13. You have 13.
I have 1 plus 2 plus 11.
11? I 10 again. Well, I guess I think it's 2 out of 3 counted probably. No, it's fine. It's good to know you can sit down again the quorum check. The vote comes. We will need you afterwards again. Thank you very much. Wonderful. So, you gave great feedback yesterday. I love that. It was beautiful. We had in the past not that many inputs when it comes to SOS changes, and you were on top of things, which was beautiful. So we were really happy to work on these things as you suggested us to do some changes. So basically the amendment 1.1, 3.4 and 4.2 had grammatic problems, so we fixed them. Therefore we kind of have withdrawn the other ones because they are kind of contradictory, because they have the same wording but are not mean. Yeah, I mean, they have different wording but mean the same, but still are contradictory because there are 2 different wordings. So we keep them in the packages as well. The 1.1 and the 3.4 stay in their packages. 4.2 is still a single amendment. And amendment 2.3, that is the amendment that is about throwing out a section basically when they have been not present for 3 NAs in a row and they come to the 4th and have their presentation. You wanted to add the possibility that you don't have to vote to throw them, to kick them out at the next NA when you're already kind of made up your mind that you want to vote on this NA. So it now says current or next NA, meaning that if an NA is going on, you can do it. Also the other one has been withdrawn because I think there was consent that this is the way to go. So then we have amendment 2.2a. That was from the standing orders. It was about elections. We had great discussions with Clara, who put in a lot of effort to kind of try to rewrite the whole part of the advisory council. In the end, we just came to the conclusion that this is such a big change that has to be made because the whole election part is just messy. That comes from way back when that was introduced. That we will bring good a solution to the next NA instead of trying to fix this within a night. So accept SOS changes for the next NA anyways. Here what we did was basically we just tried to fix this line a little bit in the end, as we will try to fix everything anyways. We would yeah, that might change as well. So the wording here just tries to be clear in that you have as many votes as there are AC positions to fill, and you cannot vote more than once per person. And we have a comment. Yes, please. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. And again, I mean, the thing is, we don't have advisory council votes. I mean, if you want, we can just simply vote. No, I mean, if you want, that's the question now. That's what we have. We can withdraw the whole 2.2 anyways, as we bring a whole package about the elections at the next NA. If you want that, then you don't have to vote on this, or you can just vote on this and then we change it next time anyways, because we have definitely no advisory council elections next time, unless me or Fabiana will step down. But I don't intend to, and I don't think Fabiana does. And maybe you overthrow us, that would be the other way, please don't. So, basically, we don't have elections next time, what I would say, and on Sunday we would. On NA3, we then have it again, so we just fix it at NA2. And good is. Anyways, do you want this to be withdrawn? Or do you just, let's keep it in and have it that way and then we fix it from there? What do you think? Can you show me shortly your hands? Do you want to withdraw it? Hands up. Okay, do you want to keep it and we just fix it next time we go from here? That is more hands. Who doesn't give a single something? Who abstains, basically. Okay, wonderful. Then we keep it. Okay. Good. That is also still in the package. If somebody who is against voting this now like that, we can take it out of the package and vote on it as a single amendment. Yes. Take what? Okay, so it's grammatically right. Yeah. Wonderful. Good. Okay. Somebody wants to take it out of the package? No. Good. Amendment 4.3. That was the one with the logo. I heard there was some debates going on. From what the comments indicated, it was not that it should be mandatory to have the whole logo thingy, and therefore going further than ESN International, because ESN International gives it as a duty, not a requirement. There's a very clear distinction between those two things. A requirement means you have to have it, otherwise you are not abiding to the rules of ESN International, and you can be thrown out of ESN as a network, basically. And a duty is something you should do, but if you don't do it, there are no real consequences. Unless maybe you get shamed or something like that. So with the logo, it from the comments we heard, it seems like you don't want it to go further. It should not be a requirement. It should not be like you have to have this. It should be more that you can do this and you can adapt the visual identity of ESN International, and that's basically how we wrote it then. A section can adapt the visual identity of ESN International. Is that, yes? Would you like?
He says there are 2 secret votes for audit and only coordinators. Did you prepare that? Voting online would be better. With 8 rules, for example, like the last time.
Look
look into this afterwards.
Is that in the way you like to have this, or is it not? Are you fine with this article like that? Yes.
I have a question about this article.
Sure.
So, with this, if this would be changed, we would be allowed to design our own logo, but not change the ESN corporate identity logo, correctly?
It does not necessarily mean that, no. Because adapting the this, as I've heard, we wanted to take the whole thing out. We wanted to have it as flexible as possible. This still gives you the flexibility. I heard the comments were more like to make sure that kind of knowledge transition is given and everything, that you always know that you can get the logo from ESN International. So basically, what this says is really just that you have the right to ask for this logo, that you have the right to get the logo and then adapt the visual identity, but in the end it's still up to you. Yes.
Other people like this session yesterday, that this statute doesn't really make sense in that part. And so I was wondering if we could just keep the fact that we're taking it off, because anyway we say that we comply to international regulations, something like that, so that would automatically mean that we're respecting the and then therefore is it really necessary to specify that we have.
So to summarize it right, you're asking if we could still just, what we proposed first, to just take it out fully, because we, as long as we adapt to the logo, as long as we have the logo, we have it. It is basically just, it's half redundant in the sense of like you can have it anyways, and we don't need that in our statutes. It was also my idea in the very beginning when we proposed it. Yes, yes.
Is the BIM in the SOs of the international or not?
It's in there.
Yeah.
So basically, what it says in the ESN International statutes, it says it's a duty, as said, like the difference between requirements and duty, or that duty you don't have to do it, but you should. There are no consequences. And it says there, the sections take the visual identity, I mean, the wording is different, but sections take the visual identity of ESN, and the measures take the visual identity of ESN International. So, it says there that you should, if you do it or not, that is kind of up to you. Yes.
I just wanted to say, I think for me it's like kind of confusing like this, because then it means like you can take the logo and adapt it how you like it. So I mean, I like this. I don't really see the point of having it because it rather confuses me than like gives me.
Yeah. The argument was for knowledge transfer, so that like if somebody reads the statutes, that they know that they have the right to kind of ask for this logo. That was the idea. Me personally, I was also, I was working on this as well. For me, it was just crossing it out, because I don't think you have to write in the statute somebody has the right to have a logo or something like that. For me, that was just because the statutes are basically also our external documents. That's the ones we give to our national agency. That's the ones we give to any partner or anything who wants to have statutes from us. So I don't see a big plus if that is in there. But then again, it might have an effect. Yes, Hannah.
So from what we discussed yesterday, I thought the idea was that we cross this out because ESN International already has in their statutes that we are required to use their logo according to the visual identity guide. And what we have now is kind of contradictory, in my opinion, because it basically says we can just do whatever we want, but ESN International is saying the opposite.
It's not fully contradictory, and that lies in the difference between the statutes from us and the statutes from them. Basically, what you have as requirements and duty, we don't have this distinction like that. We only have, you have to have it, or you can have it, which is basically a requirement of duty. It's the same distinction, it's just different wording. A duty means you should have it, but we don't have this should version. So we either have, you have to have it, or you can have it. It does not go against the ESN international statutes per se, because kind of give the right to do that as his duty. And then again, you can still not have it. Why it's crossed out is actually in the past, how it is written, it must include the ESN international logo. In our statute, that went further than the ESN international statutes in the past. In the past, it said like you have to have that. You must do this. The second part, why we took it out, is just simply because it's outdated. It's outdated in a way that you cannot design your own logo anymore according to ESN International. That's the main reason. And yeah, in that sense, it does not necessarily contradict it, but it's also not the best way of phrasing anything in a statute.
I think that we could propose to vote for one or the other, either for crossing it out or for disagreeing.
That was the point, anyways, exactly. So, but I mean, if there in the room is already the feeling that this is not the way to go, we don't even need that, and we can just not have this one. I mean, that's the question. That's the question if you as sections want to decide whether our statutes go further than ESN International, because that would mean that you have to comply, that is kind of making it a requirement for you as a section, because we don't have this distinction. Again, if you want to just simply say that you have the right, that you have to choose whether you want to do it or not, that's the way to do it in our statutes. And yes, for a lot of reasons.
Maybe not require we'll see that later on in the next day, like we have to take that into account, basically take into account what is given as an indication by the international.
I mean, I think the most sense would be to not necessarily put that in our statutes, but maybe put it into kind of procedures when it is about having new sections, in the sense of like that if you have kind of a manual for new sections, that you then give those who want to apply, that they see that, hey, here is the logo of ESN International, please adapt to this. Peter, right?
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused now. I'm still not understand what we can do with the logo anymore all the time.
that is a very big topic, and I think we can put this into the minutes to include it into the next LR call, and the LRs will update during your sections, because yes, this is very confusing. It is even confusing on the international level, because there were, I'm going to say this on screen, there were contradictory things being said and done, and for that there's a visual identity manual that kind of describes how things should be done. But anyway, the LRs will definitely Anna, you were again, or was somebody else back then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think like what is said now in green is that what's written there now is really very unclear. So the basis is the absolute freedom. So I think we should rephrase that. And also I looked up just now. I mean, I just Googled it, and pretty much everything that I find here it says it's like an obligation. So that will mean that we're not being stupid. So I mean, I don't say it also.
So sorry, I didn't get the last part. You Googled what?
The
Yeah.
The thing it says, or Scribner's going to do it, that if it says that it's a legal obligation, but that doesn't mean that we're free to choose. I mean, I don't study law, it's just...
No. You don't have to study law, you have to study ESN for that, to be honest. It's because law and ESN are two different things. ESN has its own terms, as legal documents sometimes do. And yes, again, it's an obligation without kind of consequences. And if something is legally binding, then it has consequences. So that's the difference in ESN between, at least in ESN International, between requirements and duties. So a duty you should do, but you don't have to, because there are consequences. And requirements, if you don't do it, you lose certain rights and you lose even your membership in the end, if you still don't do that. Yes, you were seen you had your hand up, but you recovered, I guess?
Yeah, you said that.
Wonderful, yes, it's covered by David. Okay, so I see that there is not much content with this, which is totally fine, that's why we're doing it right now. I wanted to give you the opportunity to vote, like the other contradictory amendment from 4.1, that you basically have the possibility to choose between this and the other thing, to take it out. But maybe there's also a little middle way. The question is, if you choose the first one without the green part, the one we proposed, then we don't have the logo anymore in our statutes. I mean, we have it up there if you like, because our documents have the logo in it, but we don't see very much necessity to have it kind of written when you anyways have absolute freedom, not absolute freedom, but have the freedom to do whatever you want, but we will always come and hunt you and shame you if you don't do it. No, I mean, we will always ask you to kind of have the ESN logo included, because I think that it's just simply part of us. And whether that is written in the statutes or not makes no difference. For us, a big difference is when you write you must comply to the visual identity of ESN International, because then you really have to do it. Otherwise, you don't fulfill the section requirement. And yeah, that's kind of that. So, I'm going to ask now, who wants to have the logos somewhere mentioned in statutes? Who feels like it's not needed? Who does not really have an opinion? So, do you want to just vote? You wanted to say something to them?
Yeah, I think like now it's everything ridiculous. So I think it needs to be inspected, but just some like clarity, but not like this. So there should be something that serves as a guideline for all the section. If it's like this, nobody knows what's going to happen. Okay, if we talk about it, we get a lot from it. I highly appreciate that, but then afterwards it could be adapted somewhere. Also for knowledge transfer, which was basically doing something that we even included this, so I still believe it needs to be there, but not like this, like really clarify.
Maybe as Deb mentioned before, so there's a way of, there are like some guidelines for section and some process that the section should respect. So what we could do is mention in the statutes that every section should respect the processes, and then take in the processes what they are, and that can be a little bit.
There's one problem there, is that you would mention another document in your statutes, right? Yeah. That's always a bit tricky, because that means that you always have to have this clearly defined document that kind of then sticks to the statutes, and I would avoid that as much as possible. It's less of a problem if you put it in the standing orders. As you know, the difference between the statutes and the standing orders, the statutes are the legal documents, that's the ones we send to the government and external people. And the standing orders are our internal legal documents, meaning that they are for us, just for us to kind of have our procedures written down. So another possibility would be to put the logo into the standing orders instead of the statutes, having there written somewhere a little part about, I don't know what, I cannot come up with something right now, but that's, I think, okay. But that's something we can work on for NA2 if you wish this. So, for now, we have this two options on the table right now. We have actually three options. We have the option which is take it out, as it's written right now, because it's outdated and it doesn't fit anymore to what ESN International wants from us. We can take this one, which has a lot of discontent in the room, or we can just take both off the table and don't change anything right now, and look again into it for an intro. So I'm going to ask you now which one of these three things you would like, and according to that, I'm going to redraw some amendments. No, there's actually a fourth option. We can still just keep both in and we vote afterwards. Which one you want to vote on first makes it a bit more complicated, but this is a possibility that I want to do. This is more of an informal vote, so again, hands showing. Do you want to just keep the one we originally proposed, so just the red part, just take it out to vote on? Okay, so maybe okay. So okay, what you kind of indicate now is what you will vote on later. Would you do we just vote on the one being crossed out? So do we just vote on taking out this Article 10.8 out of the statutes, and then again we will look into everything for NA2. Do you want to vote on just that? To take it out of the statutes. Again, sorry for raising hands. Okay. Second, do you want to vote on the second one that just adds the possibility to adapt to the ESN International Visual Identity? Do you want to vote on this today? Good. This one is definitely off. As there are people that would like to vote on this one, I don't even have to ask the other ones, because you can afterwards decide whether you want to just take it out in an actual vote, or if you want to keep it in. Wonderful. Is that clear? Are there any questions marked over the head? So basically we're going to vote afterwards, and you decide if you keep it for that. Good. That was all. Thank you very much for staying with us and being so engaged. It was very nice to see. And I would now like to ask some of the board on stage. I don't know how you want to make your groups now, but that's up to you. So, because of the sleeping situations and everything, I think they want to do it a bit differently. Also, how many groups would you have? Look, the birthday one. Five groups. Okay. Nicholas group. Let's do. Okay, we give you 10 minutes each on stage on each group. Yeah, I mean you can be faster. I just gave you maximum 10 minutes. You can just jump off the stage if nothing is happening anymore. It's totally fine. basically how we do this, the group that comes on stage gives you a short update, what they have been doing, a really short update, as they said, and you can then ask questions on what they're actually working on, what they're doing in their position, and things like that. You have the possibility to ask everything, to also have a clear insight into what they're doing in their daily work as their national board position or national board position. And with that, you can have a better understanding and know what they're doing. So, first group on stage, please.
Okay, hello everyone, and this is actually going to be exactly the same thing as the video that we submitted to you for our board update for the education team. So the education team is constituted of myself, National President, Schnell, Education Officer, and Nico, Liaison Officer for Education and Youth. Our mission, again, just to quickly remind you, is to take care of all the topics of education, mobility, contact with other youth associations, and student associations in Switzerland. So this is just a broad update for you to know. I will start with myself, what I've been doing as national president as part first of the education team. I've been part of all the national events that we organize with our association, for example, the actions for Erasmus loss, that I will let Luca and Nicole talk more in details about them. The conference as well, the Cheese Call, let Nicole talk about it. I had the pleasure to represent ESN Switzerland at many different events. For example, I was at the World Summit Information Society Forum, which is like something from the UN, at a panel discussion hosted by our friends from ESN Switzerland, who should have joined today, but things happened. And then we could discuss about sustainable goals and how ESN can help achieve them. This is like kind of a representation that I tried doing outside ESN a bit. I was also, of course, responsible for representation towards ESN International, and for that I was helped by our great national representative, Lucia. We went to defend the interest of the Swiss network and your opinion after the consultation that we had at different calls with ESN International. What else? When it comes to more management, well, I managed the national level with the help of Serena, and as well as the community president. We decided to manage it together this year, and this has been doing great so far. We have a very active community. We're very proud of it. Proud of you. We also had a project of having a ESN Switzerland wiki. This was one of our action plans. This has not, we couldn't start it because of some technical issues, which were that we couldn't get a license as we weren't recognized as a non-profit association. So with the help of Valerie, we had to go through very long procedures to finally get this statute, and we are finally a non-profit organization. Yay! Now that we have that, we can start working on this wiki, and we hope that it will be already quite complete by next day. And this is to remind you, like, the goal is that it's the central platform for all centralized knowledge, all archives, guidelines. For now, they are on a sharing Google Drive, which has been restructured. I invite you to go on it. The link normally has been given to every section. You can explore it, and you can do everything that you want on it. Something useful. That's all from my side. I will now pass the mic to Luca for his work.
Right, thank you, Anna. So I'm Lucas Schmeb. So as education officer, I will talk more about education. So what has been happening in the last 3 months in the field of education in ESN is that we've been working in tight cooperation with the Youth Council, and also the Student Union about the campaign for the petition for a full association to the Erasmus Plus program. You probably heard about the petition. I hope you have all signed it. As you may know, we've reached 10,000 signatures by the end of September, and we have submitted the petition to the Federal Chancellery in Bern. We also performed a small action on one of the squares in Bern to symbolize the possibilities that will be given to our students who would be part of the Erasmus program. So that was a huge success in terms of more, let's say, intimate cooperation with the other associations active in this country. Also because we had the presence of Nationalrat, Conseillers Nationaux, national councillors in the action and the speech, and with the opportunity to exchange contacts and stuff. So seems like ESN Switzerland is a little bit placing. We feel that we are an actor in the education decision makers in this country. So it's really valuable. Also, in the follow-up of the petition, we've been organizing a question and answer session online with Yves Flückiger, the rector of Geneva University, and he's also the president of Swiss University, the Council of Rectors. So that was on the 1st of October, was held online, as I said, and it was like a discussion between one of the guys from the Student Union and him, and it was promoted by ESN. We didn't have much attendance. We guess it was because the event was online, the communication was a bit made last minute, but we will have an occasion to catch up because on the 4th of November we are organizing a conference in Lausanne about the topic of Erasmus Plus. Will be a panel discussion, and we will have also if we are coming again. We'll have people from the Student Union. We'll have people from the Youth Council. We're still looking for speakers in the economy sector. So if any of your contacts is is French speaker and is working in the Liberal Party or in the CVP or something like that, that would be really, or in Economy Suisse or something like that, would be really cool. Get in contact with me. So that would be the 4th of November at 6:30. Would be really cool if the people that live not too far away could show up, because the goal of all this is to show support from the students to the cause, to joining Erasmus Plus. So we need attendance. What else? Yes. So also since last community weekend, we're trying to, let's say, to talk more about education in this network, a little bit more with you, to involve you a bit more in these topics and in these discussions. Not only that we discussed with Dana and Nicole, but also with you guys. So we have a chat for the education committee, and it's mainly for sharing information like articles about Erasmus Plus, about education, also for sharing events, attending conference together. So we are often invited to seminars and conferences given by Movesia or by Swiss course, like Swiss institutions, and that would be like the preferred channel to inform you about this. Yes, do you have a comment, a question?
Yesterday from ESN Switzerland, I had a comment or maybe a comment and question. The initial conference was supposed to be the beginning of October.
Yeah. So what happened was that I've been harassing the building service of UNIL for 1 month, and they gave me an answer saying, "Oh, you can have the room 1 week before the event." So of course it was late for doing the communication. I would have been up for boosting the communication anyways and trying to do it. But the thing is, the student union, which is our collaborator in organizing this conference, was against. So that's a collegiality, and we had to take a decision, and the decision was to postpone. It's a shame, I agree. Clara, do you want to react on this? With the mic, you need the mic for the stream.
It's not easy to do the concept no more that if you want to reserve this space that you need, you can go through us also because we're quite tight with them.
Yeah, right. So what we are doing is that we know it's better to pass by the internal things of UNIL, so we go through FR, which is also, I mean, thank you for offering. Yeah, thank you very much. Any other comment? Who is likely to come on the 4th of November in the evening? And how many people can we count? 2, 3, 5 people? Okay, cool. Thank you. 6. Let's say a small 10. Right. Another thing that has been ongoing. In the same topic first. I am invited to be the student representative for the. I need to wrap up. Okay. For the Erasmus Referenzgruppe, that's like a reunion where we are asked the opinion of the students and also of the universities about the new SAMP program that will be launched next year. So Movesia, the government, is asking us, mainly the universities, but also us, what we think and what we need for the future SAMP program. So what I'll be doing by the 10th of November is to collect feedback from you guys, from the Erasmus students, so that the section would tell me a little bit what are the problems with the current program, what could be done better, and what should we transmit to the government. Like the direct, I'll be just one of the links of the info chain, and it's really important that we get student feedback on the same program by the 10th of November. Last thing, I've been working on the inclusion of local students. It has been like in our action plan with Nicole, and we want to get more internationalization of the local students that cannot go abroad because of COVID. We also want to invite them to our events so that they can have a little bit of international experience. Would also be enrichment for the Erasmus students because often they complain that they cannot get any local friends. It's hard to meet Swiss people. So we think that it would be really cool to find the right balance and to invite a minority of local students in our event, maybe 20%. That is open to debate. And for that, one of the key actions would be to to get the same price for our events, whatever if it is local students or exchange students. There is a possibility of funding that through ESN. Right. So I'm done. Do you have any questions? Right. So I give the floor to Nicole.
Okay, so I will really quickly. My position is to review and Nicole the lead long-term communication review. The position was created in March, so I was elected really in any what I'm doing, I am here to help the education team to have like more visibility on the Swiss floor, like with the students you don't how assess finesse or the youth council message. So like with my position right now, we are really like almost the call or the meetings for these student associations. So really the collaboration has come better, and I'm also like looking to formal education partners, so like the workshop from today from ISEC that was coordinated by me and the people from ISEC, and like I will also be in contact with other youth associations, so if you know one in your
your content, you can discuss with me, and like this we can like do a really cool education partnership. I think that's all from my side. If you have questions, just come to me.
Or up and Any questions? Yes, go ahead.
So gracious.
Okay, so great, Lara from Luzern. And will you, this question is for Snap, will you launch kind of a questionnaire or something that we could send to the exchange students to get these answers you are asking from us?
I'm going to answer with a question. Do you think it's more useful to do it in this format? That I give you like a template for it? I mean, it would need... I thought about like getting feedback from the section as a whole in the first place. And then you collect that feedback however you want, because some sections have 400 students, Russian students, some sections have 10 Russian students, so they have different way of gathering feedback from that. In some small sections, they just have a dinner with the Russian students and they know that they are aware of all their problems. In other sections, it's more complicated. So I thought I would send you a section question, like a kind of feedback questionnaire by section, and then section will manage how to get feedback from their Russian students. But you see it otherwise.
You have been asked, do you want to react?
Well, in our case now we have like 80 exchange students. I know some of them, but not all. So I think in our case it would make sense to have actually a questionnaire that we could just send out and they could answer for us and make it easier. And I mean, in this time, what happened like on this weekend, we see it's probably not the best actually the biggest group to gather this information. So we have to do it in another version anyway.
Okay. Alright. Any further questions?
Any questions? No. Good, but your education team is always available for anything. Wonderful. I would like to ask the next team on the stage, and would like to remind you as well that it's 10 minutes per group, not 10 minutes per person.
Moi je vais perdre le feed sur le stream.
Ah.
Tu peux pas me donner des slides?
C'est pas un slide, c'est un PDF.
Mais c'est égal. Oui.
Ouais, alors il a dessus.
I like your socks, Alice.
Ça? C'est une image.
Any questions?
Attends.
Juste
une toute petite seconde.
Good, no questions, thank you.
Attends, je contrôle une seconde.
Can you read that from the back?
Slides only. Voilà.
I can read section two. And that's actually
Hello everyone. We will start the board update about the section care team, composed by Alexandra, the section manager, Annie, the national event manager, and myself, the vice president. We are working together to try to have all the sections going well together, organize events for you, national events like this NA or the Produce Committee Weekend, but also working by community
for my part, I've been organizing with Annie the Community Weekend 1 and the National Assembly 1. We were really happy to reach every section. So for the Community Weekend, we were 11 sections out of 14, so that's a lot. And for this National Assembly, we should have been also the 14 sections, what didn't happen for a long time. So that was really, really nice to see your motivation, and that's even if the situation wasn't the best for anyone, you could come. And okay, now it's not applicable anymore, but we had 2 OCs applications for NA2, and that was amazing. But still, also for the Community Weekend 1, we had a lot of participants, a lot of motivation, and that was really nice to see. Then, yes, I followed also, as Adana said, the work of the presidents. We had the president's community. We talked about the recruitment process and other important topics. And we've seen a lot of participation from you guys, so that's really nice. Thank you again. And another thing that I hope I will finish for the NA2 are the EPPs, so event policy papers for the national assemblies and the committee weekends. So basically, it's like a document that gives the rules, not the rules,
guidelines.
Guidelines. Yeah, like a guideline for organizing NNA and CD for the OC, for the city, and also for the national level. And I'm currently writing, so we'll see.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the cocktail workshop yesterday. I think it was quite fun, even though it was super short, so I'm glad about that. So as for me, I had to make a picture for the semester, I mean including the whole year. First I wanted to create an informal event. I was been talking about that in the last NA, but basically I wanted to organize a weekend only for ESNers, members of the Swiss network. So it would be the same as the NA, but without different reports. And instead of that, we would go skiing or hiking or do whatever, going to a swimming pool, but it won't happen this semester because of COVID, so maybe it will be for next semester. So as for now, I read the little cross on that because I couldn't do anything. Otherwise, random name position and event manager community. The name position was created only last year ago, so I'm only the second name in the Swiss network. So I'm working on developing the position, having guidelines which are really clear for the next one, and working with the event manager community to really create a community feeling. So that's it. And I'll talk about the admin more afterwards when we come to the additional point. And I give the floor to Alexandra.
Hello everybody, so I'm Alexandra, the section manager of ESN Switzerland. So on my side for the action plan, I finished the stability and quality document, which is a document that helped me to track the situation in your section and also to know how it is going and how we can then with that improve the workshop offers and training offer at community weekend and also at NA, sorry. So it's really to track information about how it is going on your side. I also did some section visits, so I did the first one at FHNW, and I could almost finish the stability and quality document for their section. What can I say? Yes, I really think that we improved the contact with the section because as we see at the NA, we were almost, every section were there, but not for a long time, as Sarah said. And yes, also, I'm spreading the information about the section questionnaire, which is in a good way. Here it's written 3 sections started it, but since I wrote the document, more did, so I'm very happy about it. I'm really sure we will all be in time for the section questionnaire, and as always, if you have questions, you can come to me, and I will never tell you enough that participate. And yeah, we keep promoting events, NA and community weekend, and just let's hope that the situation will not go worse.
Now we go to our other project, what we do in our free time at the moment. As for me, I'm working on the health and well-being colleagues to add gas with the project and causes of ESN. So I've been working with LP, responsible body who's in charge of promoting less alcohol at events, but for now they just didn't answer me, so I'm just waiting for the collaboration to take place. Also, I wanted today to have a workshop about health and well-being to understand what your needs are for this year, because health and well-being is a huge topic, and it could be mental health, it could be physical health, it could be nutrition, sexual health, depression, addiction, whatever you name it. So I really wanted to ask you what personally and in your section you want to work on this year, what I can do for you, and what we can use the money for, because we have a money for that as well. But the workshop won't happen today, but I guess that we will do it online if some of you want to join. Maybe not a workshop, but just a goal or something we can organize. So still working on that.
So yes, what I did is first I created the working devices and the name tag that we were wearing yesterday. So it took me so long to do it. Hope you enjoy them, and we will still enjoy them for the next NA. So it was also a sustainable project, so I'm happy that we have them. Then about my VP community, I'm really happy about it. The people are responsive, not all of them, but quite a lot. At the first call, we just missed 4 people, so I think that's a really good score, and I think we have a good communication, so that's the main point. But that's only my point of view, I don't know yours. And finally, I also shared some document that after the community weekend, as the section asked me. So if you need any other document, don't hesitate to ask me. I have a lot of time right now, so if you need anything, just ask me and I will be happy to help you. Yes, and I think that's it. Next group.
No questions.
Sorry, it's a question.
Any questions?
I really like this thing you made there. It's cool.
Thank you.
Is that Danalino?
Thanks for the presentation. Dana is in Switzerland. It's actually very nice talking to you. Small question for Annie about the national events. How do you see them going on in the current situation, specifically train road?
So for those of you who don't know the train rally yet, it's a rally, which means kind of a round trip we do all over Switzerland by train, and section and groups of Erasmus can travel from one trip to another and we challenge in each city. Usually it takes place in November. This year it should take place, if it happens, on the 14th of November, which is a Saturday. As for now, we are starting to work on that. I think we will keep it, because it's only small groups of 10 people in trains, so they will have to keep the masks.
And you discover places that you would never go to, or you'd never see the use of it if you were going on a city stroll on your own or with another type of guide, a more classical type of guide. So the project is ongoing. There is an organization here in Switzerland that does that as well, and it's part of what they call the International Network of Social Tours. And they haven't been very responsive, but that is also due to the fact that my mails went in the spam, so I'm still talking to them about that. I'm not sure that we'll be able to meet the deadlines to actually implement the project itself in Switzerland because they want to accelerate the whole communication process on the international side. So maybe we'll not promote it as hidden cities for this semester. If it happens, it'll be more like a test on our side to actually launch it in the respective cities where these social tours happen. And then maybe next semester we'll be able to do it with the other countries. Now, the second project that I'm working on is the causes survey. So I attended a webinar done by ESN Russia, and they were talking about the survey they've done about social inclusion, and they've done a really good work about by kind of evaluating the awareness of their network regarding social inclusion, and they presented the results in the webinar. And the insights were very interesting, and it kind of captured the whole awareness of their network regarding that. And that's why I want to launch a similar survey in collaboration with the education team, hopefully, and the NAM regarding everything related to health and well-being. And it would allow us to evaluate the awareness of the network, of the internal network, so ESNers, regarding the causes of ESN, and that will help us set the focus on the causes and set the goals for the upcoming terms, the upcoming mandates. And finally, what I have failed to do is to do like more awareness campaigns on social media, but that will be a work in progress soon. That, and then build an advocacy portfolio that will be also done when the wiki launches. I will be doing some work on the IT side to kind of provide you a tool that will allow you to report your activities related to the causes in a very simple and efficient way. So that's it on my side. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and if you have any questions, please do so. Please feel free to reach out.
Are there any questions for either the national representative on any international part or for the project? We have a question.
For the Green Week, have you thought about working with the Swiss Sustainable Week?
That is a good question. I haven't done so because I didn't about it. I know about the sustainable week that they're working on, and I really appreciate what they're doing. But what I want to do is doing something oriented towards ESNers and ESN, whereas their sustainability week is oriented towards how to say that? I want to do something that is ESN specific, and in that sense, it would make more sense to collaborate with the ESN sections regarding that, more than like collaborating with other entities to kind of like be in time with their sustainability in that sense.
From Clara and then Anna first start.
We could, the idea is that sort of do the sustainability on like an off part of the sustainability week that's anyways happening in some Swiss universities. So we gear it more to the Erasmus, but then that maybe they could go to the like the sustainable lunches or things like that. So I think it's a shame to compete with this sort of thing. I mean, I see what you mean, but at the same time, I think since these weeks are already really big events, and that are very well organized normally, and that I think it could be cool for them to also meet locals for that. So I think I see what you mean. So that we could imagine maybe having something to discuss later on as an off part that we organize just for Erasmus or more catered to Erasmus.
Just a quick reply. I totally get what you mean. I think that their work is amazing, and it's not about not wanting to collaborate with them. It's more about, for example, sustainability. The sustainability week that you're talking about is not implemented everywhere, which would be a shame. So, like collaborating with only the cities where they're doing that is, yeah. But I see what you mean. I see what you mean. So, yeah, I'll think about it. I'll get in touch with them and hopefully do something. Yeah.
I think Clara's idea is great to actually do it together with the universities. Sustainability Week would want to have it at least, because it would amplify that thing again, and ESN's like take a stand to say, yeah, we want to be part of this, we agree with this. We could have our own little project in the same week, I think, and just like make it into a bigger thing instead of two things.
Excellent.
Do you want to react more, or is that good? Sorry.
Just to clarify, it was also more like we don't have is that we don't have to necessarily have a partnership with them. Just be like, this is something that's going on and we're aware of that, and so not necessarily all Swiss universities, so we're going to decide to have our week at the same time. The universities that do have it, we can also incorporate events and things like that. I think it's like it's one idea, but it's very modulable and according to universities. And just sort of like, because there's a dedicated week now nationally, and we can be like, okay, this is the national week, and not just make our own national week. That's all.
Thank you for clarifying.
But I just don't agree with the fact that we don't need a partnership with them, because in that case we would. I think we would push for collaboration with them, so that they won't think that we're overlapping with what they're doing. So it's just that just clear communication.
Thank you guys for your presentation. I just had a comment about Sustainable Week in Switzerland. They were present at the NA1 event, and they presented that they are present in every higher education system in Switzerland, and on their website it's written in 34 higher education institutions. So,
is it present on the ESN universities? Like on the university representing?
So here it's written very people as I'm saying, Generale Château, Valeriano.
Yeah, no, perfect. Then makes it even more sense to collaborate with them.
Now.
Also just a little clarification of what I meant before. I'm not sure if you are aware of it, but yesterday was World Mental Health Day, and it's not something that one organization is doing, but it's just like a national, like the National Sustainability Week is like, it's not that just universities are doing it, but any organization can take part of it. I think that's the purpose. So I mean, universities can have National Sustainability Week, and we can just do our own project next to that and collaborate if we want to. I think that's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Thank you all for your feedback. It's great to actually talk with you physically about these kind of things. So.
Totally agree. Are there any more questions? No? Then let's say we put on the next group and we should. Sorry, I hope the money goes well. But normally those people are not people of many words.
Oh wow.
They talk in numbers, come on please.
So, yeah.
We have that presentation.
Which one?
The money thing.
Yeah, so first money, then communication, and I think Matthias in between us, I guess. No conversation, whatever. That's why I don't use a lot of words. But it's a PDF, like, so you could just. Yeah, so whatever, I'm Valerie, I'm the treasurer, this is Patrick, he's the partnership manager, and Nicola, you already saw yesterday. Yeah, and what did I do? Can I do this problem? I'm sorry, it's Sunday morning. So, about the finance part. One of my main goals for this year was to create guidelines where so what I did until now was just to like sort of sort out what the treasurer has to do, what the treasurer of ESN Switzerland has to do, what the tasks are, what the deadlines are, and so on and so forth. So I have a document with all of those. I'm working on the guidelines, mostly of the accounting guidelines, is to how to account in the double accounting system. Yeah, I'm currently working on that. You can go on. Afterwards, the goal is to assemble this all together in more or less. You can go. Then the one thing is also to support the OCs, mainly of the main events. So we have templates, but we also try to work together on the budget for this event with the NEM. And then for the financial stability, as you saw yesterday, I worked on the budget proposal. We have the audit report. I didn't work much for that, but mostly around Elena who did that. And then we working on the Movetia grant application. We need the approved budget for that, just to let you know. Yeah, I mean, for the audit, we have a candidate, we maybe have another candidate. Yeah, and what is also in the 3-year plan, which I didn't start, is the assess the personal cost of the national development. If you have questions already now, for me, just for me. Okay, now.
Okay, so I'm gonna continue on the partners area. So what I did first, was translating the partnership booklet. I don't know if it will be useful to you guys, but that's going on. And basically, still talking with most of our partners that kind of worried because of the situation, so I spent most of my time reassuring them. Yeah, that's it. That was finished anyway, so.
I just changed. Oh, god damn it. This is your story.
But yeah, no, sorry. So yeah, no, I'm looking for new partners right now. It's kind of complicated because of the situation. I'm not that interested in sponsoring events that may not happen. So we'll see and work maybe more on the grant application rather than sponsors. That's it.
Hello. I'm just waiting my presentation.
In the meantime, I have a question to Mathieu. How old are you today?
I'm 16.
That's fine maybe, because it's in the stream in a minute.
So I will start. I'm the communication manager, and I will show you what I've done until now. I'm not just caring the social networks, but I create visuals for national levels, and moreover, I have a communication manager group on Telegram with all communication manager of the ESN section, and I give materials to us like the BIM, like useful documents, and we make some quotes. We made the first one 1 month ago, the second one will come the next week. About the new logo, so I'm looking with one section that are not updated with that, and we have still soon finish the getting of the new logo. I'm provide assistance to local communication manager, like the other project that I showed you yesterday. About the Swiss guide, this year it was digital, so more sustainable, and everything is good with this project. It's finished. For university, website is Swiss guide. And I get feedback. The university are very happy that we don't print anymore the Swiss guide. And I launched 3 projects that I'm looking for volunteers in local session to take this project for local coordinator. The first project is Action Stories. This campaign that I don't know how many years we made it, but I know that it was a success last year. And I'm looking for the Action Story is a little interview of action students in each local station. So I'm looking for local coordinator for that. The second project is a promotional video. It's a video of each local station of the event, and at the end it will be a video. And the last project is a common visual identity on the social network with a same picture profile of each local ESN session. So that's it for me. Thank you. Yes. Do you have a question?
For everyone, not just for Nicolas. For everyone, you can still ask Lali if something came up. In the meanwhile, you can also ask Mathieu again about anything of a special day. There we have Sylvain. Who is your question for?
Mathieu. I'm kind of curious, like, what kind of partners are we like specifically looking for? Is this strategy, like, what kind of companies or anything, or it's just like you take every partner we can get?
I'm not sure I understand your question. What do you mean? That you don't know the national partners, or do you?
You said you're looking for new partners.
Yeah.
Right. So what kind of partners? Like what kind of companies, or is it just like?
Right now we're looking for a goodie bags partner. Okay. And also like I mean the word I don't remember the program. Okay, so also bank accounts, not the bank accounts, bank. And last one, but I don't know the age. I'm sorry, but that's goodie bags are the one I'm looking for right now, and yeah, we'll see it's the most important one as of now.
David, alumni ESN Basel. The bank account, are they for section members or more like for the Erasmus section? For the Erasmus students?
Yeah, because we used to have something with Favorite at the international level. They kind of like let us be because of the coronavirus situation. So I'm looking for an online banking as Revolut for the Erasmus students and they can get.
Any other questions?
And also, we work with Nikon on the flyer to present all the national partners. I don't know if it's been shared with you as of now, but otherwise, I can send it to you if you have more questions.
Concerning the bank account you mentioned, does the UBS offering something for students? Have you thought about something maybe?
I cannot hear you well.
There's a UBS is a bank offering a bank account for students. So maybe you can get in touch with them and see. UBS, I mean, I have a bank account with UBS and I'm having a student bank account. So maybe, I don't know, it would be interesting.
Yeah, the main issue with like why I'm looking for an online banking account or online banking institution is because Swiss banking are not well centralized, so it's extremely hard to get a partnership with them because when you get in contact with someone, it's not the mother's company, and to get the info of someone working on the siege of UBS, Credit Suisse, or HSBC, or whatever, it's kind of impossible when you're just a student associate.
I might be mistaken, but I think Thai, who went in Switzerland before, which one company that does something like that? I'm not 100% sure. And then otherwise, I mean, you have to contact with Revolut, something like that.
Yeah, but we used to have something with Revolut, and they stopped. So that's why I'm looking for another one.
Why?
Well, because of the COVID. Yes, they stopped the program in Europe.
And that means specifically what are you aiming for with this bank of partnership? What's the plan?
Ideally, a monetary contribution. Like if they subscribe to create an account with the online banking, we would get like what we got with Plenaries was like 2 francs per account created. So we are kind of looking for something like this. Plus free card, free fees for the Erasmus students for this story.
Ivan, I think I can recommend Swiss Codes. I think it would be a good fit. It's on our brand.
Yeah.
Can you repeat?
Swiss Codes.
Swiss Codes. Swiss Codes. Swiss Codes, yeah.
Swiss Q-U-O-T-E quotes. Quotation.
Investment bank.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it was only for success of the foundation.
Yeah, sure, so one of the things that we need to look for specifically is also that in general, Swiss banks don't take Americans system. So yeah, it's like one of the clauses that we should be looking for because we want to be inclusive, I guess, also for our clients Americans.
Yeah, but online banking are not usually based in Switzerland, so they don't have those kind of issues.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, you have a comment? Yeah. No, yes, it's covered by. Who else? There was one hand left.
Just I checked where time works, and actually it is an online banking that is aimed to at shops and bigger entities. So I don't think it will work for Erasmus. But yeah.
Type, okay.
Another comment here.
So if you're just looking for online banking, there are like a couple of options if you have heard of this. There's a transfer via settlement. that you can make. So they also provide like a card and everything, so it actually works kind of like Revolut. And then there's also one that is particularly popular in Europe. It's called N26, and sort of also works very similar to Revolut. You have like an online bank account, and gives you your card, and you sort of do all your operations on your phone. These two options are quite feasible.
Can you state your name and section?
Name and section.
Kunal, ESN Switzerland.
Thank you. Do you want to add something?
I look into this.
Yeah. And don't forget, we are also looking for a partnership. That means we want also something from them. That means if they don't want to cooperate with us, then we can just have their thing as everyone else. It's less lucrative. Good. Any more questions maybe to Valerie or Nicola? We have one. Come.
So last year we discussed also with Alan in the audit that we would like to change the audit delivery to make it more actively involved in the whole budget process. So what do you think how we could do that? Okay. Does it work?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, what I would propose already is to, with the potential second person and you, to already sit together now to look into the first half of the year. What happened? I mean, it didn't happen that much because of the situation. There were no events, and to project that for the second half of the semester, so we can already start working now and not like. Last year, we started, for 2019, we started to work in March, no, later, in April, May, something like that. So if we start working now in October, November, we can make it, the whole process more fluent, and you have more, the audit has more power to stop things that I'm doing wrong, like before, and not just passively react afterwards.
Any last questions? Good. You are released from my floor. Thank you very much. Wonderful. So, I think we had all of them. Last we're still here. We'll wait. We're gonna proceed to the last thing. We just have two people on the toilet right now. Therefore, I would like the rest of you to wake up a little because we come to the voting and you need to be present for that. So, please stand up. How we do this? Give it a what? You just do it. Give it a what? No, just wiggle a bit. Get yourself up. Get your system a bit flowing with blood. That's your.
You're not doing it.
Huh?
You're not doing it.
Me? No, we're not doing it.
Boring.
I know that's how we are. No, just get your blood a bit flowing. Get your whole system a bit up. And when you feel a bit better, you can sit down again. I told you.
I think they want to do it.
Who wants to do it?
I
mean, if you want to do it, yeah, put the music on.
Now you're not boring, you're annoying.
Yeah, that's how
Wait, I have to stop this.
Après, t'attends. Après, tu sors.
voting, and that gives me time to adjust the voting to the amendments that were wrong and everything.
Since we won't have time to do the feedback round today, we created a feedback form that I'm sending right now on the channel, information channel for the NA1. So please fill in this form. It's really, really important for us, for the city, for the OC, for the NL, for everyone, and also to improve the next events. So you can do it before leaving or in the train or tonight if you want to do it at home. Also, before I forget, stay please in the channel, in the information channel, at least for 1-2 weeks, I would say. Because if, 2 at least, because if we have any information related to coronavirus or anything, we will share it on this channel. Also, last thing, if you are feeling sick in the next days, if you have any symptoms or anything, please just write me. We decided I would be the communication center.
The bad news manager. No, nothing.
So, yes, you don't need to write it on the group or, I don't know, to the OC or anyone. Just send me and then I will communicate to the other persons concerned. Are there any questions about this? Okay, so we can finish the documents.
Okay. Right, I'm going to upload it. What do I hear? Gonna have some of all the with the clicky. We already had Dana. By the way, I wanted to know, is it right, Dana? Where do people write when they mostly said they use for reform? So apparently Dana is against the amendments that we've seen. Wait, that's the wrong presentation.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Did you take this one?
I took this one, yeah.
Wait a second.
David made an oopsie. Huh? This one.
Yeah.
Advisory Council 1107.
No, it should be there. Can I try again?
$11.09.
That's no. Do you remember what a simple majority and absolute majority is? No. They said no, but they don't have a vote, so the rest understands it. If you don't, they can blast it.
Oh, come on.
Do you want to learn it again? Wonderful.
Wait, where's the
subscription has expired? I thought you have a partnership with Office. All in favor?
The partnership with Office?
Maybe you should bring like that. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. We have the 14th time. that were voting devices in the past. Some might remember them. But as we had new sections and section name changing and everything, they were not, and logo change as well. Yes, we will have the public votes with a simple majority, which will be following. We still have the package 1, 2, 3. You still have the chance now, the last chance, to take something out of the package. Then you want to take something out of the package and vote on it individually? No? Wonderful. Those are the simple majority votes, so they, as I said, just need more yes to no. You see there is amendment 4.2a. That's kind of the updated version without the grammatic problems. Again, vote on order of amendment 4.1a and b. We vote on first before we vote on the contradictory twos. And as said, we are just voting on taking out the logo part out of the statutes in amendment 4.3 as discussed before. We have 2 secret votes because there are people and they require absolute majority. That is on the one hand the financial auditor. We have 1 candidate for 2 positions. That doesn't mean that person likes 2 positions. And the alumni coordinator, on who we had the Zoom presentation. And then in the end, after all the other votes, we will vote again on the SOS proposal. That might have changed due to all the amendments you passed on before, so you have like a little second again to think about, okay, this amended version now, you still want it or not, and we do that after the secret vote. Any questions about the votings? That's the last moment, because afterwards we start, and we get super serious. Wonderful. That means you were all listening very well, like that. Then we start with the voting. I would like the scrutinizers. We have 1 Fabien, and we have 1 Pizarre. Please refrain from, just look from the side if possible, and count with us, and then tell us the numbers. I don't know why somebody's hiding back there. But wonderful. So, we start with the voting. Have your voting devices ready, please? First question is, do you accept the audit report? We have yes, we have no, we have abstain. Please vote always. Please, when you want to abstain the vote, still vote abstain. You can't just not vote, but it's nicer for us to know that everyone voted. It's easier to track. So, who votes yes? Out now. Give it up. I have for proposal 2021. Thank you very much for your work, Valerie. And the next thing is, do you accept the amendment package 1? We again have yes, no, abstain. If you want to vote yes, please raise your voting device now. 14. We have again 14 yeses, that means no no's and no abstains. That means it is accepted. Thank you very much for package 1. And we have the package 2. Yes, no, abstain. If you want to vote yes, raise your voting device now. 14? Yeah. 14. We have 14. Wonderful. That means there are no no's and no abstains. Right? Wonderful. So, this is accepted as well. Thank you very much. And we go to package 3. Where again, there's no abstain. And it's now time to vote for yes if you want to say yes. Wonderful. We have again 14 14. Thank you very much. That means there are no no's and no abstains. Wonderful. And this means amendment package 3 is accepted as well. We have now the question, which of the two amendments you want to vote on first? Is it amendment 4.1a, 4.1b, or abstain? And I want to remind you which is which. 4.1a basically means that the flexibility is given for re-election of NB, national board and board support positions as many times as often as they want as the sections elect them basically, or 4.1b is basically limiting the re-election of a national board or a board support position by re-electing only once. Okay, so who wants to vote first on amendment 4.1a? Raise your voting devices now. I have also the 14. Yeah, somebody came late, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. So it's 14 now. 14. Wonderful. We have 14. That means nobody for 4.1b for abstain. Wonderful. We have amendment 4.1a first, as predicted. Cheeky, I know, sorry. Do you accept the amendments 4.1a? Yes, no, abstain. Raise your voting device now if you want to vote on 4.1a to pass. We have 14 again. That means no no's, no abstains. That means the MB just got ultimate power. Thank you very much for that, Pastor. No, wonderful. Amendment 4.1 pass. Do you accept amendment 4.2a? So with the corrected version in it. Yes, no, abstain. Raise your voting device now if you want to vote yes. There is the security. Where there's the security? What? Yeah. Yes, exactly. That you take care, especially of Erasmus, taking away the Erasmus part. Like it says that you take care of exchange students, and we take away the especially Erasmus part because we don't have Erasmus students per se, but we take care of all exchange students. Okay, we go again. If you want to accept this, vote yes now. Yes. 14, wonderful. 14, yes. This has passed as well. That means no no's, no abstains. Wonderful. Good. We have 4.3, and I'm gonna recap what it is. That is the one with the logo. So taking out the logo of the statutes as it is written right now, and obviously with the promise to look into this again by consulting you as well for NA2. If you want to say yes for this to pass, then vote now. It is 14 again. No, abstain, we don't have. Wonderful. That means this has passed as well. We don't have a logo anymore in this one. And we will come now to the secret votes. For that, I would like every one of you, before you get this thing, to sanitize your hands. And don't touch your faces again. The people that... Yeah, sanitize your hands before you do that, and then fill it out and give it back to us. Basically, these are ballots. Shortly, there are These are again absolute majority. You only have the option of yes and no, because abstaining just means basically means you don't fill out the vote. Okay, so if you want to abstain, just don't do it. By filling out the vote, it's you have little circles before the yes or before the no, and you can just make a cross there if you want to say yes or no. And don't put any indication that would like kind of make it clear that it was your section or something like that on the thing. So no name, no section name, no drawings or anything. I only accept ballots that have nothing else than those little crosses on the thing or earnings. One last thing is the people that have a delegated vote, they should say which delegated vote they have to then here, and then they get a second ballot. Okay? Wonderful.
Do we have a little box?
I don't know.
Also, if you voted, fold it once together, just in the middle, so that it's closed, and then you can give it into one of our provided packages or boxes as soon as you find it.
Can we use this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, wait a minute. So as soon as you voted, you can come, again, fold it, put it there in the bag, provided by pizza, where we have it.
Have you all voted? Is still anyone in progress or all done?
Did they just leave the room? I mean, they can do it here, but okay. Yeah, another. You want to do an try to come on the stage and do what? I don't do things like that, I'm sorry. I mean, if you want to do it, come on stage and you are allowed to do it. Yeah. Can you put on the cha-cha slide that was requested?
Which slide?
The cha-cha slide from YouTube and so people can start.
Oh, okay, cha-cha. Yes. Hein? Pirates of... Pourquoi Pirates of the Baltic Sea?
We are already ready to the results. I'm so sorry, but I can tell you the whole song lyrics. It's basically slide to the left, slide to the right, jump.
Wait, I need to pause this.
What is it?
I need to mute
I think.
There you go. You have it now?
Is it okay for you if we first vote on the SOS trade? Did you make up your mind altogether now what that's it? Well, so the question is now the SOS proposal that we brought, the English SOS proposal with all the amendments, which would change the system as we know it from this day on forward. In the sense of having an English SOS and not having two languages which you have to amend both the whole time and have discrepancies and annoyances, that shouldn't be fine. Sorry. Anyways, hold your voting devices up if you want to say yes now. True to answer, please. Fourteen. We have again 14 yes, that means we have no no's, we have no abstains, that means we have just changed our English SOS. And as we have a little paradox here, because in the old one it says things come into effect immediately, and into this one it's now after the NA, but this is in effect, but the other one was in effect when we voted on this, so we don't know what's happening. It's okay. We had enough of SOS talks for now, and we will move everything down to NA2. Thank you very much for accepting the whole work. We are very happy to see this being through. And now, I would like to ask her on stage, because she was one of the candidates. I cannot ask Theo, sadly, but maybe you'll change. I'm sorry.
We could have one picture that I'm holding up.
I represent Theo anyways at the time. So, we have the financial audit. We had 16 cast votes, 16 were valid. 14, I'm sorry, I was still in the old system. We had 14 cast votes and 14 were valid. That means all the sections voted and did it right. You see, blue will be yes, pink will be no, and orange is abstain, meaning I have not cast a vote. We have 14 and not 16 yes. Well done, and congratulations to you. I added the 2 extra there for me.
Thank you for doing that.
Wonderful. And the alumni coordinator, again, we had 14 cast votes and we had 14 valid, and the outcome is not 16 yes, it's 14 yes. So congratulations to Theo for the alumni coordinator for 2 years. Don't forget, we still need a second financial auditor, which is apparently on the way, right?
Yes.
Wonderful. And we need an OC and a CT, which was not voted on this at this event, but you will get further feedback on how this will go down in hopefully short time. So we're slowly coming to an end. I want to give you a reminder of to fill out the online feedback form, then afterwards, as Karina said. Yeah, we basically come to the end, and we end gladly with some humble words. We also take first the group pictures before the humble words happen. So stay where you are. I think we make a plenary room picture. Can we do that with this camera, or do we have a better one? You have
no, they have this camera.
I mean, we don't need the stream anymore.
You want to start the stream? Okay.
But this camera is not really good.
turn the camera
They will
down
be there in
so
like
we can see
a
everything.
few minutes. Okay, so.
So we decided to find games which is recording and climate systems. So I know it's in Geneva, it's like so we by end, like in I hope really.
And thank you again to the city also. It was for me a pleasure to be in contact maybe with you, Dave, but with the whole city in general. It was, as you said, very easy to work together. And we also have some gifts for you. So it's basically the same. I will give also to Nicole that is bringing stuff to Tanya.
Okay.
So she can have also her gift.
Thank you.
And thank you, the ND and the NL, for the support, because you were really helpful in all the discussions we had and the decisions we made. So that means that this NA is now actually over. If it's possible, and 1 or 2 people from ENL would help me bring out all the food. We already prepared it, but we have to bring it outside. That would be lovely. Take your time to pack your things up. We will bring everything outside. There is curry and rice left from yesterday. You can fill that in your Tupperware if you want to take some. Also, there are sandwiches, everything. We can also stay outside for a little while if you want to eat it here. I don't know what time are your buses or trains leaving. And please give back to Alexandra the voting devices. So yeah, like we anyway will be around here. So if you need to wait for your train or anything, you can still stay here. We probably move outside at some point, and then yeah, it's the end for today, unfortunately. This affected the hands before.
Wonderful. That's all. I do officially now close the NA1. Thank you very much, everyone.